Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel where we learn together, take action together, and reflect together. My name is Tamira, and thank you so much for being here, y'all. I am so excited about this YouTube channel, and today's car conversation is all about the channel. I am going to share a little about myself, what this channel is about, and why I am starting it. So let's begin. I'm gonna start with an I statement poem. So a few years ago, I went to a conference, and during a breakout session, we had to introduce ourselves using an I statement poem. And all this means is you start with the word I and complete the sentence or the phrase with a description of who you are or something that you want the listener to know about you. I am Tamira. I am a proud Black woman. I love God. I strive to act with love and through love. I am a daughter, a sister, and a TT. I love my family, my friends, and my community. I am a learner and a teacher. I am curious. I seek out new knowledge and new experiences. I am active. I am introspective. I value humanization, freedom, and liberation. I value health, well-being, and healing. I value knowledge, action, and reflection. I value joy and happiness. I value authenticity and creativity. I appreciate beauty and excellence, and I am hopeful. I believe that my purpose is to improve the world through teaching and learning. And so that was my I statement poem, y'all. And the last line, I believe my purpose is to improve the world through teaching and learning, is inspired by the Hebrew phrase tikkun olam, which means to repair, heal, or improve the world through social justice and social action. And I first saw that phrase in 2013, about 10 years ago, in a book called Life in Schools by Peter McLaren. And the phrase stuck with me, and I remember writing it down in a journal that I still have today. And then in 2015, I saw the phrase again in another book called Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. And so by that point, I was like, okay, this phrase fully represents the why behind the work that I do. And so in 2017, I got the symbol, or what I believe to be the symbol, according to Google. Y'all know how that goes. I got the symbol tattooed on my left wrist as a reminder of my purpose. And I'm left-handed, so it's always in view, especially when I am writing. It's like my little North Star. And all I need to do is look at my wrist to sort of guide me back to the reason for it all, which is to improve the world through teaching and learning. And so, speaking of teaching and learning, Maya Angelou, a woman who inspires me deeply, she once said that when you get, you give. When you learn, you teach. And that will carry you all over the world. And so that quote and the phrase tikkun olam, they both sort of capture and embody why I am starting this channel. I am a learner. I am a teacher. And I just want to share what I learned with you all, because the scholarship that I love studying the most is something that I believe we all should be interested in learning. And the most important thing that people can do is learn new things and apply them in a way that is going to positively impact their lives and their communities, which is why I spend a significant amount of my time studying, reading, writing, and reflecting, just learning. Learning is one of my favorite things to do. And one of the books that serves as the foundation, sort of the blueprint, the structure, the theoretical framework for a lot of what I will be sharing on this channel is The Pedagogy of the Oppressed by Paulo Freire. This book is one of the most important books I have ever read, y'all, and probably one of the most challenging. I've read it several times, and every time I read something, or every time I read it, I learn something new. And the book sort of outlines in detail what oppressed people must do in order to be free and liberated. And I do plan to post videos specifically about this book in the future, but for now, I just want to talk about one of the key themes of this book, this idea that knowledge, action, and reflection is required for liberation to happen. Knowledge, action, and reflection, CAR for short. This is the title of my channel. I'm going to briefly define what those terms mean in this context, starting with knowledge. So knowledge in this context, in the context of this channel, means to have a deep awareness and understanding about reality, about the world, about the causes of social conditions like oppression. We have to understand the world in order to transform it. So if I say I am committed to changing reality, then I must know and understand reality. I cannot transform something that I do not know, that I do not understand. And so this is why knowledge is essential, or knowledge and learning is essential. And so we can't just gain all of this knowledge, learn all of these things, and not use it to impact change. And so action in this context is actual process of changing reality and transforming the world, the things we intentionally and deliberately do to positively impact change. So we gain knowledge, we learn, then we use what we learn to take action. We also have to reflect. We have to reflect on what we learn and on the actions that we take. And reflection is an alert and mindful consideration of what can be done to prevent actions with negative consequences and instead produce actions with positive consequences. So knowledge, action, and reflection, CAR for short, happens simultaneously or at the same time. So think about a machine and how there are essential parts on the machine that work together to produce a desired outcome. For example, an airplane is a machine and its purpose is to fly. A plane cannot fly without its wings, even if there is a working engine. A plane cannot fly with a broken engine, even if there are working wings. We're not going anywhere. All parts of the plane, the engine, the wings, the cockpit must function properly. One cannot work without the other. If one part is not working, the process stops. We're not flying. And so this is the same for knowledge, action, and reflection. They are not separate concepts or ideas. They must all be part of the process if full humanity is the goal. Knowledge, action, and reflection together is the process of changing reality and transforming the world. And so if we understand reality, if we have that knowledge, if we understand what is currently going on in the world, in the United States, then we understand that everybody ain't free. And I don't know about y'all, but I believe that freedom is a childbirth right. When you are born free, and no one should be able to take that from you. And so I love learning about how to make sure we can be fully human and fully participate in society. And so that is what the Pedagogy of the Oppressed lays out for us, sort of this roadmap to freedom. And so if we have the knowledge that Paulo Freire is referring to in this book, then we know that there are groups of people in this country that are dehumanized, oppressed, and denied opportunity and access to quality health care, education, housing, employment, and food. Why are certain groups of people denied these basic human rights? Well, it can be because of the color of their skin, because of how much money they make, because of the gender identity, because of their religion, because of who they choose to love, and because of their disabilities. The communities that are denied access and opportunity to basic human rights, specifically in this country, the United States of America, include African American or Black people, Hispanic or Latinx people, Indigenous people, Asians, women, low-income people, LGBTQIA plus individuals, and people with disabilities. And I will use my platform to draw attention to the social conditions of these groups, to draw attention to how they have been assigned to the lower ranks of society and denied full participation. Isabel Wilkerson, another scholar that I love, talks about this so beautifully in her book Caste, which is another book that deepened my understanding of social conditions like oppression. And so, in addition to believing that freedom is a child birthright, I believe that education is what puts people on the path to reaching their full potential. However, education in this country is in a catastrophic crisis, and we need to be very clear about the issues in our public schools. As Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings, my favorite education scholar, describes it, we are currently experiencing death in the classroom, especially in communities where Black and brown people live. And this is why I spend a lot of time learning about how to meet the immediate needs of our students. And I also spend time learning about how to address the immediate needs of the teachers that educate our students. And again, I want to use my platform to share my learnings with you all. Last fall, I read a book called The Four Pivots by Sean Ginwright. And chapter 8 talks about how oppression has those of us that are oppressed in survival mode. We are always fighting against something, always struggling, resisting, trying to fix or solve problems that we never get to dream, imagine, we never get to build, create, or visualize. What do we want to see on the other side? What are we fighting for? Why are we struggling? Ginwright says that we should shift from solving problems to creating possibilities. We should be curators of new dreams and new possibilities. And this YouTube channel is my attempt at shifting from problems to possibility. I hope to create and design educational content and programming that will ignite and inspire change and transform the lives of historically marginalized groups, specifically Black and brown children and their families. And I invite each of you to learn and grow with me. This is a community for all of us to gain knowledge, take action, and to reflect. I don't claim to know it all. I do not have all of the answers. I am still learning. I will always be learning. As I said, learning is my favorite thing to do. And I just want to share some of my personal experiences, my personal reflections and reactions. And I invite you all to do the same. I hope to start critical debates and discussions about liberation and education that will lead to action and change. And I hope to bring questions and solutions and new ideas to the space. And I expect this journey to be bumpy, uncomfortable, messy, hard, difficult, burdensome, a mess, challenging. I expect it. And that's why I want to create a space for people to be seen, heard, valued, and respected for being their authentic selves and for making meaningful contributions. And most importantly, I want everybody who chooses to be a part of this community, to feel like they belong, to feel loved, and to know that they can make a difference. No matter how big or how small, we all have a part to play in changing and transforming this world. And so let's take this ride together, one car conversation at a time. And that's all I got for now, y'all. At the end of every video, I am going to leave you with a reflection prompt. And I recommend using a journal to reflect. I have one that I call my metacognition journal. I love it so much. And so you can write down your reflections. You can type them in your phone or a voice recording, or you can just think about it. It's your choice. And so for today's reflection, I invite you to take a few minutes to reflect on your identity using the I Statement poem, the poem that I started off with. You can refer back to it if you need an example. But it's important for us to know who we are and what shapes our identity. And so take a few minutes to reflect on your identity. And if you feel up to sharing all or parts of your reflection, I would love to get to know you by reading some of your I statements in the comments. And again, thank y'all so much for being here. I look forward to our next conversation. I am so grateful. Thank you so much. Until next time, take care of yourselves and love y'all. Bye.